welcome to Alpha Militaria TV. Thanks for tuning in once again to see what we're up to. My name is Richard Saunders. Now, a number of you have very kindly asked how you can support the channel, and we're very grateful to those of you who've made that offer. We really are. The best way is to subscribe to the channel, and thank you to those of you who do. And also take a look at our website, which is alphamilitaria.com. But we've also added in at the bottom of this page some links to some other ways that you can support the channel. And in addition to that, I've included some links to some products you can buy on Amazon that I use on a regular basis in case they're of interest as well. Now then, let's talk about this rifle. We've reviewed a few bullpups over the last few weeks. We had a look at the Viararc HW100 BP carbine a little while ago. Before that, we had the Hatsan Air Max in the recording garage. And we're almost going back to the start now with this rifle. It's the FX Wildcat. And I don't think you could really say that the Wildcat started the bullpup craze, but it certainly put new impetus and momentum into it, because bullpups were around before the Wildcat, but it really got things started again in modern history. And perhaps more importantly than that, it also gave a design cue to other manufacturers who then subsequently brought out bullpups after this rifle. This is the Mark III, and which accurately suggests that it's been around for a little while. Now, the Mark III differs from earlier models through changes to the plenum and also to the valving system to generally improve airflow. And in addition to that, the Mark III has the same magazine as the FX Crown and the Dreamline as well, which has a bigger capacity. It's the side shot magazine, takes 22 shots in 177, 18 in 2.2, 16 in 2.5, and 13 in .3 caliber. Now, there are two versions to this rifle. The 12 foot-pound rifle, the one that I've got here, is generally referred to as the compact rifle and is mainly available in 177 and 2.2. And as the name would suggest, it's the shorter of the two versions. Has a 500mm barrel, 230cc air cylinder, and weighs about 2.8 kilos. And overall, it's about 675mm without a silencer fitted. Now, the longer rifle is known as the Sniper, and that's really the FAC rifle. Has a 700mm barrel, 300cc air cylinder, weighs a little bit more, around about 3 kilos, and is 790mm long without a silencer, so still pretty compact. Now, the great thing about FX rifles is that you can swap out the barrels for different calibers. You'll need to buy a barrel kit for that, which comprises obviously the barrel liner, a probe, and a magazine. But just does give you that flexibility. Now, all of the rifles ship with FX's superior STX barrel liner, and you can swap that out for a heavy barrel liner if you want to shoot heavier slugs and pellets. The exception to that is the 177, which ships with the standard STX barrel liner. Now, in terms of FAC powers, the FAC versions of the rifle come in 177, 2.2, 2.5, and .3 caliber. And the 177 will go up to 20 foot-pounds. The 2.2 goes up to 40 foot-pounds. The 2.5 goes up to 55 foot-pounds. And the .3 caliber, you can get that in 70 foot-pounds. Now, and also I should say that the regulator on this rifle is fixed in the 12 foot-pound mode, excuse me, but is adjustable for FAC shooters. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move through the rifle as we usually do, going from back to front. Then we'll zoom in on some of the key features. Then we'll go through the whole magazine loading process and air filling process. And then we'll nip out to the range, put some pellets in it, put a target up, and see how the rifle shoots. So the FX Wildcat Mark III has this very nice, good quality, very tactile black synthetic stock. And the stock is ambidextrous, but having said that, the magazine goes into the breech just here on the right hand side and sticks out quite a way, which obviously isn't an issue for right-handed shooters, but for left-handers it's going to be right digging into their cheek. Now, I don't know for certain whether FX will produce a left-handed version with the magazine on the other side or not. I think I'm right in saying that they just don't, which is a shame. But if I'm wrong in that, I apologise. But this rifle for right-handers, although the stock is ambidextrous, is not suitable for left-handed shooters. Now, there's no adjustment in the stock either. At the back, you have a solid black rubber butt pad. It doesn't go up and down or anything like that. And on top, you have this cheek rest. Again, there's no adjustment in that either. But you know, in the shoulder, the two combine to be very comfortable, give you good scope alignment as well, and it works really rather very well. Now, at the back of the rifle, you have this power wheel. It has settings 1 through 7, and that basically adjusts the hammer spring tension. Now, I'll be honest, that kind of feature is of most noticeable benefit on FAC rifles, where you just have a bigger power band to play with. But even at 12 foot-pound level, it enables you to make very more subtle changes in terms of power output, but does enable you to finesse your setup to accommodate different weights of pellets, different styles of pellets as well. Now, right at the back up here, you have a safety catch. It is safe in the back position, push it forward to shoot. And then on the other side, because this rifle is regulated, where is it? You have a little dial here to show you your regulator pressure. Now, as a 12 foot-pound rifle, you can't change the regulator pressure in the rifle. You can in the FAC rifle, but at least having visibility of what your regulator pressure is, you can make sure that everything is running as it should. Now, the stock has a little bit of a cutout here, which is more of a space saver and aesthetic thing, and then a larger cutout just here to accommodate your hand to address the trigger. Now, there's no stippling on the stock or on the pistol grip, but it does have these finger contours, and it's very comfortable in the hand. And because of the whole feel of this black synthetic stock, it's very grippy anyway, and you don't really need checkering from a grip perspective. That enables you to adjust the trigger. It's a post and shoe trigger, a very, very good trigger, 2 stages, fully adjustable. The let-off is nice and crisp, and the 2 stages are very well defined. And that's good because triggers can be a little bit of a letdown on bullpups. And the reason for that is obviously you've got the trigger here, which is forward of the breech back here. Magazine goes in here. And in between, the gun is relying on, or bullpups rely on connecting rods to connect the trigger with the breech mechanism. And you know, because those rods are 5, 6, 7 inches long, they can flex and they can lead to a little bit of vagueness in bullpup triggers. I have to say, on the Wildcat, you don't get a sense of that at all. It's a very, very good trigger. Now, above that, you have the side lever, which has this nice drop-down biathlon handle to it, slightly sprung for the first stage. Push it back a second stage and push it forward to probe a pellet. Now, excuse me, the side lever being back here in front of the trigger here was a real design bonus back when the Wildcat was launched, because most bullpups at the time were basically rifle or carbine actions dropped into a bullpup stock. And as a result of that, many of them had the cocking action right back here at the back of the rifle, be it a bolt or a side lever. And it meant that you were kind of poking yourself in the ear every time you wanted to cock the rifle. Now, because the Wildcat was designed right from the start as a bullpup, not as a rifle dropped into a bullpup stock, but an out-and-out bullpup, FX were able to design it to have the cocking lever in a far more comfortable position halfway down the rifle. And it meant that you could shoot, cock, without coming off aim as much as you would do if it was further back. Now the barrel itself, as I said before, it's interchangeable for caliber. 500 millimeters long on the 12-foot pound rifle, and it's shrouded for about half of that. Let's move that back a little bit. Shrouded for about half of that, this distance here, and that does a pretty good job of making this 12-foot pound rifle pretty quiet. And you could get away with not having a silencer on it. If you did want to put a silencer on, then this cap at the end just unscrews and reveals a 1/2-inch UNF thread, and obviously put a silencer on that and it makes it even quieter. Now the FAC rifles with the 700mm barrel had the same kind of shrouding and UNF thread setup, but you probably would want to put a silencer on the 700mm barrel FAC rifles, because it has a bit of a crack otherwise. Underneath that, you've got the air cylinder, which is 230 cc's on the 12-foot pound rifle, and that takes a 230 bar fill, which is achieved by rotating this collar at the front of the cylinder to reveal the fill port and inserting your fill probe there, and we'll go through that in a minute. Then once you've done that, hopefully you can see on the end there's a gauge here to tell you what your overall fill pressure is. Now, in terms of scope mounting system, you have a nice, long, generous Picatinny rail up here. 22mm Picatinny rail gives you plenty of scope to mount your telescopic sight nice and securely. And the scope I've got on top of here, I just want to call this out because it's one of my favorite scopes. It is the Zeiss Conquest V4. It's the 6-24 model, and it's a relatively new scope out from Zeiss, in that they're now marketing versions that have adjustable parallax, which means that for airgun shooters, you can adjust the parallax right down to, I think it's 10 meters, right out to infinity. Now, Zeiss was selling versions of this scope before that had a fixed parallax at, I think it's 50 meters, maybe a little bit more than that. And they're obviously intended more for centerfire and rimfire. But now they've got this adjustable parallax version out, it suddenly makes this an accessible scope for air gunners. It's not cheap, it's around about £1,100-1,200, so it's right at the upper end of scopes that air gunners typically use. But it is really, really good. I've had this one on review for quite some time now, and I've kind of kept quiet because I'm hoping that Zeiss won't ask for it back anytime soon, because I really love this scope. Right, okay, with that, let's zoom in on some of the key features in close-up detail. The FX Wildcat Mark III comes in a very good quality black plastic hard case, and in that case, amongst all the other goodies, you will find a filler probe, which looks like this. And filling the rifle is very, very easy. As I said before, you've got a collar at the front of the air cylinder here, and you just want to rotate that to expose the hole, the fill port, and then take the probe and push it in as far as it will go. Then once you've done that, obviously you want to attach your air line to the back of the probe and then give it a 230 bar fill. Once you've bled the air from the line itself, just pull that probe back out again and rotate that collar to keep everything dirt free. Now, I couldn't get any shot count figures out of FX for the 12-foot pound gun, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rifle down to the range and keep a count of the shots that I get myself, and then I'll tell you what the shot count is later on in the video. So the Wildcats magazine is the same magazine as the ships on the FX Crown and the Dreamline, and is very similar as well to the FX Impact magazine. It consists of this main black body, and then on the front of it you have a clear plastic faceplate. Now, to fill the magazine, hopefully you can see there's a little lug just here, and you'll need to rotate that round 180 degrees, and that will enable you to release the plastic faceplate and expose the inner drum. And then you want to rotate that inner drum round as far as it will go anti-clockwise, and then put a pellet in the top hole, this hole just here, and that will then hold that inner drum in place. And then it's just a simple case of dropping the pellets into the chambers one by one. As I said before, the 177 takes 22 pellets, the 22 takes 18, and the 25 takes 16, and the .3 caliber takes 13 shots. So just keep filling all of these in. We might as well do a full magazine. Keep dropping them in one by one, like so. 16, 17, 18. And then once all the chambers are full, take that plastic faceplate again and put that back on the front. There's a couple of lugs just here and here, and a pin at the top to help you locate it. And then once you've done that, remember to rotate that lug back again to lock the faceplate back on, and the pellets are retained. Now, it's important you do that, because if you don't put that faceplate on, the pellets will just fall out again. To insert a magazine into the FX Wildcat Mark III, it's very straightforward. First of all, make sure that the safety catch is in the on position, the back position. Then pull back the side lever to cock the rifle. Then hopefully you can see in the back here, there's like a very shallow U-shaped cutout there. And that has to go around the very back of the barrel, the breech back in here. So with the clear faceplate facing back towards you, just put the magazine in, locate that slot around the end of the breech, and just push it all the way in. It's as simple as that. There's no locking mechanisms or retaining catches, anything like that. You just push the magazine forward, push the side lever home, and you're ready to go. Now, when you come to taking the magazine out again, you once again just pull the side lever back, pull the magazine out. So that's a quick rundown of the FX Wildcat Mark III. Next stage is to take it down the range, see how it shoots. Having done the chatting in the recording garage, now on to the fun part. I'm down at Reading Air Target Shooting Club again. I set the target out at 30 meters, and I'm going to be using Air Arms Diablo filled pellets in 22 caliber, 5.52 size with the Wildcat. So let's see how it shoots.
.3 11.0 11.1 11.2 11.3 11.4 11.1 11.1 11.1 11.3
Empty. Right, well, let's go and see how that grouped. Right, well, that's 10 shots at 30 meters. Probably 9 of those through one hole. They're a little bit low and left. One right through the middle of the bullseye, obviously a fluke. But yeah, that shows you the accuracy potential of the FX Wildcat. So there you have it. That is the FX Wildcat Mark III, 22 caliber, 12 foot-pounds. Really, really compact rifle, delight to shoot as well. Very accurate and very consistent at just over 11 foot-pounds, 11.1, 11.2 foot-pounds. Anyway, I hope you found it interesting. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel as well. And if you'd like more information on this rifle, whole range of other FX air rifles as well, then take a look at our website, www.alphamilitaria.com, where you'll find information on the whole range of other airgunning topics as well. Thanks for watching.